The leader of the YouTube channel and family 8 Passengers, Ruby Frank, was recently arrested for harming her own children. She and her sketchy business partner Jody were arrested for 2 charges, and Ruby's sisters are speaking out in support of this arrest. Even Ruby's oldest daughter, Sherry, said that this needed to happen. We saw a bunch of content from this family, but we had no idea what was really going on behind closed doors. So let's get into it. So I think everybody's shook to learn that Ruby Frank from 8 Passengers has been arrested, but honestly, I'm not surprised because I called them out years ago and they tried to cease and desist me and tell me that they weren't harming their children when in fact they have been, and now she is locked up.
Update of the century, everybody. Ruby was arrested. Hallelujah. I didn't know if I would ever see this day.
I mean, what a bad look for a family channel mother, the leader of this channel, to be arrested for supposedly harming her own children, which we kind of saw through their videos. Actually, this morning I went back on the 3 that they tried to silence me on, and I put them back up because now, in fact, they are proven true. The mom influencer behind one of YouTube's most famous channels has been arrested in Utah under suspicion of 2 counts of aggravated child harm. 8 Passengers host Ruby is listed as in custody on the Washington County Sheriff's Office website. Her business partner and Connections, which is her new YouTube and company, co-founder Jody was also arrested that day under the same suspicion. So that means both Jody and Ruby are committing the same crime? In Utah, the definition of aggravated child harm includes starvation, which we've seen, broken bones, head injuries from hitting or shaking, or suffocation.
St. George police have confirmed with Fox 13 that the Santa Clara Ivins Police Department is handling the case in southern Utah.
If she's convicted, she could face up to 15 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. And it's interesting to see how the children are reacting to this, because when we were watching them, when they were at their peak, they were young and they couldn't really speak for themselves. But now Sherry is out in college and they feel more than comfortable speaking against Ruby. So Sherry, the eldest daughter, actually posted on her Instagram a picture of the cops and wrote, "Finally." So she was ready for this. And Ruby actually has a couple of sisters who also do social media as well. They are definitely no angels when it comes to the social media, YouTube, family exploitation world, but they are saying that this needed to happen to Ruby. So even her own sisters are calling her out, saying that this needed to happen. They also wrote, "For the last 3 years, we have kept quiet on the subject of our sister Ruby Frank for the sake of her children. Behind the public scene, we have done everything we could to try and make sure the kids were safe." Wow. The siblings say they wouldn't feel right about posting regular content without addressing Ruby's arrest. Ruby was arrested, which needed to happen. Jody was arrested, which needed to happen. Here's a post from Sherry. "Hi all," and this is the oldest daughter. "Today has been a big day. Me and my family are so glad justice is being served. We've been trying to tell the police and CPS for years about this. So glad they finally decided to step up. Trying to tell them about her parents harming her. That's so sad." Wow. What's really unfortunate about this is that, yes, this has been going on for years and we've been watching it. I mean, me and plenty of other YouTubers have been covering this family, calling out what's wrong with them. And actually, they used their power to silence us, send us cease and desist letters. I mean, I had 3 really great videos that had to go off the internet for a couple of years, which really spoke justice to what these kids were going through. We can't forget the time that Chad got in trouble because he threw a little prank on his brother, which really wasn't much, and his bedroom was taken away. He was sent to a wilderness camp and he had 0 privacy as like a 16-year-old boy living a miserable life.
My bedroom was taken away for 7 months and then you give it back like a couple weeks ago.
I don't think our viewers know that.
You've been sleeping on a beanbag.
I've been sleeping on a beanbag since October. And they gave my room back like 2 weeks ago. Oh, I'll give you the reason why I lost my bedroom. I think so. I think this is the reason. At least this is the reason that's been in my head. It's pretty funny, but now that I look back, I mean, it's pretty depressing.
No, we never told our viewers.
That I woke Russell up at 2 in the morning and told him that we're going to Disneyland and he has to pack. And he got up and made his bed all neatly and then packed all his clothes in the suitcase. And then he walked out the door and I'm like, Russell, he's like, what? And he's all happy. Has his sunglasses on. And I was like, we're not going to Disneyland. And he started crying and hitting me. And then he went back to bed in tears and then...
So that was not the reason you lost your room, but that was...
Well, the other reason is because I pointed a BB gun at his face.
Pointed a BB gun at his face and hung him on the basketball. It's not funny.
Also, there was the incident with Eve, her daughter, who kept forgetting to bring her lunch to school, probably because she's 6 years old. And of course, Ruby admits in the car that she's not bringing her daughter food. I mean, she will sit there all day and watch paint dry on her wall or edit some videos of her children for the internet. Yet when her children need some lunch, she was texting the teacher telling her specifically, do not give her any food, make sure she's hungry, so she learns a lesson about packing her lunch and taking it to school.
I just got a text message from Eve's teacher, and she said that Eve did not pack a lunch today, and can I bring a lunch over to the school? This happens quite often when you're raising children, because I know that her teacher is uncomfortable with her being hungry and not having a lunch, and it would ease her discomfort if I came to the school with a lunch. But I responded and just said, Eve is responsible for making her lunches in the morning, and she actually told me she did pack a lunch. So the natural outcome is she's just going to need to be hungry. And hopefully nobody gives her food and nobody steps in and gives her a lunch.
This isn't the first time they've had to answer to some of their parenting skills or lack of skills. And at one point they said, and they told Insider, that they were teaching their kids about the consequences of their actions and blamed viewers for stirring up drama. At that point, there was a case opened with CPS, but they had closed it because, they were able to convince them otherwise. Thankfully, the 8 Passengers channel is pretty much gone at this point. It's irrelevant. But in June 2022, Ruby announced that she was forming a new channel with her friend Jody, and it was under the name Connections, which was about them teaching parents on how to parent. Actually, it turns out that Jody did have a psychology background, but her license was put on probation by the Utah Clinical Mental Health Counselor Licensing Board for 18 months back in January 2012 for discussing a patient's corn addiction with elders at their Mormon church without permission. Oh God. Ruby and Jody's channel caused concern right away, with onlookers labeling Connections as a cult. It described itself as a mom support group and claims to help treat those lost and stranded in the darkness of distortion. In one video, Ruby and Jody preach that parents should not love their children unconditionally, and in another, Ruby gives multiple reasons why children shouldn't be listened to and that they don't deserve privacy. They also have freely made homophobic, transphobic, and ableist comments. It actually turns out that it's reported that Sherry cut off her connection to their family because of this Connections cult. So I guess it really is some type of cult that her mother had joined. Remember that one time that Ruby went to the school to complain about the music that the kids were listening to because maybe they had to do a dance or something to it, and she is a true Karen, but even beyond a Karen, because clearly she's mentally ill if she's arrested for harming kids.
And I had an appointment with the principal, and she had the assistant principal who never responded to me like he said he would, and then I guess there's 2 assistant principals, so there was 3 of us. What can I help you with today? And I said I have a concern about the TikTok dances. The teacher put together a list of songs and she gave them to me and I approved them. And I said, okay, so you approved this song that has all of these lyrics in it. 100% of parents would agree that that's immoral. You're missing the whole point of why I'm here. I am not here for anyone's comfort, including my daughter's. I'm not here to make her comfortable.
We still don't know exactly why they were arrested for harming these kids, but we just know that the cops responded to the home at around 3:44 p.m. They were there for about 2 hours, and then later on that day, Jodi and Ruby were arrested.
YouTube stars Ruby and Kevin Franke from the popular 8 Passengers YouTube channel. Now, the incident in St. George led them to try and find 2 children in the Springville area where the mother Ruby lives. They say Ruby was on her way to St. George because of a family emergency and asked a family friend to pick up 2 of her 6 children.
Before we close out this video, I do want to show that, in fact, Ruby is arrested. Here is the website that the officers use. She was arrested yesterday, which was the 30th. And it looks like she was arrested at, what time is that? So I never know military time. They were arrested around 7:33. So the cops got there at 3:44. They were arrested and booked by 7:33. And of course, Jodi's name is here as well. We've got them both in custody and no payments made yet, which we don't know what their bail. Oh, their bail amount is. Oh, no, we don't know it yet. They may get a $10,000 fine for these charges, but we don't know how long they're being held for. Maybe they are considered a danger because if they go back home, what will they do to their children? Ultimately, it's a disgusting and a sad story, and Ruby should be ashamed, and anyone following her, please do not, because you do not need to be taking parenting lessons from someone who clearly doesn't know how to parent. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in a new one soon. Bye, guys.